So this will be a grudge match between John and I, where John acknowledges that I was right. The metaverse is a joke because we can't talk to each other face to face. I'm sure that's the conclusion here. Not so critical update.
Wrong. And some irrelevant guy who I guess invented the iPod says that the metaverse is wrong because of fake connections. He's wrong and Mike's wrong. Everyone's wrong. I'm right, like always, of course. And the reason I'm right, like always, is, of course, because you do not need physical connection to make a connection. You can have connections digitally. Yeah, that's what the article goes on and on and on about. How he was like, when I have eye contact with someone, I get goosebumps. And it's like, okay, you might get that, but I might get goosebumps from talking to someone, digitally speaking, or whatever. So totally, this was such an opinion piece. That was, of course, so wrong. And doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, go back to 2002 when you were making the fucking iPod.
Well, here in your criticism is what you failed to take into account, John.
All right, go ahead.
He agreed with me. Therefore, I think it's a great opinion piece.
Okay, right.
So, touche.
Yeah, well, you're probably about the same age, so, probably buddies at all.
Wow.
The headline could be rewritten as "Man who invented something 20 years ago claims obvious fact, or claims fact that sounds obvious but completely incorrect."
It's
the Onion headline.
It's like don't watch TV because the devil will suck you off or something. Like that's how absurd. That's
a reason to not watch TV.
Yeah, I'm questioning that one as
which
well.
Way are we going on that?
Let me rephrase. Basically, it was so taboo to watch television, and then it was so taboo to spend all your time in front of a computer, because if you do, you'll turn into sludge or something.
And you think the punishment from the devil is that he sucks you off?
Oh, okay, that was just one example. Really stuck on the suck off.
That's probably not a good look for you. I don't know.
I just want to follow the thought process here.
Some kind of like hint. I don't know. I know she watches. So, Amy, listen. I do apologize for my behavior. So this is really out of.
Peter's now going to try and make this personal, huh? Okay. I see you, Peter.
It's the video games cause murderers.
Yeah. It's exactly right. And before video games, it was action movies, and before action movies, it was metal.
It was books.
And before metal, it was books. And we needed to burn all the books, because how could you have my connection besides
this doesn't track from the story. This doesn't.
Well, I'll tell you. Okay, I'll loop it right the way back to where we started, which is
the devil.
You cannot take your boomer ways, not you, Mike. You cannot take your boomer ways, okay, and relate them to a new generation that is largely creating digital connections, be it through their smartphones or their computers or their consoles. They are not interacting as much face to face, and that is okay. We are going to constantly evolve and level up and change as a society and species. You cannot expect people to go to cafes like it's 1987 and that's the romantic scenario in your 70-year-old or 120-year-old.
John's nailed it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how old this guy is. Clearly, he's a fossil. Hope he's watching.
John came with the big guns,
and
it's not that easily quantified. The human connection can't just be down. You cannot just dumb it down to when I look in their eyes, I get goosebumps. I've had some of the deepest conversations ever.
John, John, can I when I look into your eyes, I get goosebumps. Let me just put that on the record. But anyway, carry on.
Thanks, Peter.
Darling.
Anyway, babe. So
where were we?
My point is, wow, Mike really got starstruck.
Right there, baby.
Let's all just gaze into John's eyes.
Can you zoom in there? Because
I'll have to do it in
my
post.
word. There we are.
my barren office while I'm away from home. I don't have my green screen. It's just one.
All
single
anyone was
key
looking
box.
at was your eyes, John. Nobody even
Beautiful.
knows. Which we would not be able to do in the metaverse because all we would see is your avatar. We would have no access to those beautiful brown eyes.
Which is so cool. It is such a cool concept that I get to redefine myself.
So let me tell you something, right? Back in 1995, I used to use these things called talkers. And if you know what a multi-user dungeon is, a text adventure game where you wander around little rooms and you go north, east, south, and then you encounter monsters, totally text. Nothing there, right? And talkers were basically like that, but without the killing monsters thing. So you didn't have lives or anything like that. You just talk to people. So you could go into different rooms. It's a really early version of like Snapchat or something like this. I don't know. I met a girl in South Africa and I fell in love with her. And I traveled to South Africa and eventually she came back to the UK with me. Very long story, but you know, when I was 16. So we talked via this thing for months. And then we wrote letters to each other. And then we met in person, probably around 9 months after.
But I'm the boomer. Okay.
All I'm saying is that was entirely without seeing her eyes move. And that was entirely without meeting her. And we still managed to make a real connection and have something actual that boomers like, well, dickheads like this guy would recognize as a real relationship.
Right.
It didn't work out. I'm not with her still, but you know, that's the rest of the relationship story. But you know,
but that makes it even more real. That defines. You just defined a relationship to me. That this guy's like, we're gonna lose that. We're gonna lose all of it, and everything is gonna be robots and like virtual dicks or something. I don't know. I
think we are losing it. Point. It's already happening. I am not a fan.
Okay. Strong argument.